then no amount of Maya may be there. Even in the course of our lives, our families, our work, our duties in life, many things come along. But one does not need to be captivated or disturbed by them. If we take that shelter, and the opening of the, you could say, of that shelter of the Lord's lotus feet is given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's given us this opportunity to enter into that safe place. Prabhupada said, the only safe place in this universe is kirtan. And we're together in chanting. As soon as we forget that, what do we think of? All kinds of, whatever, you know as well better than I do what you think of. Or relationships. We were just discussing how difficult it is to have a real deep relationship in this world. Relationships are mostly on the surface. And when the surface changes, the so-called relationship easy changes, whether it's in family life, even amongst devotees, it can change very easily over something external very quickly. And so you thought somebody was your friend, and all of a sudden, you can't associate with them practically. This is the effect of not putting Krishna in the center. Kirtan is the only, Lord Chaitanya made it quite clear, is the only way in this Kali Yuga to achieve this constitutional situation. And we'll see everything and everybody in relationship with Krishna. We may not be on that level, but at least we can absorb ourselves in the process to evoke or awaken this pure vision, this proper conscious perception, Krishna conscious perception. Bhagavad Gita we see recurring more and more as Krishna unveils, you could say, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, how important it is to be conscious of Krishna in all of our activities. It's not just about acting according to Varnashram or according to our nature, that's good. But that's, in of itself, is not the objective goal of the teachings of the Lord. But it's to actually become conscious of Him fully in all of our activities. Rasa, Haribol. We have with us quite a few, we have a lot of rasa here tonight. We have Rasikananda here in front of us, we have Rasa Rasika in front of us, and now we have Rasa Parayan Prabhu back there. How much more rasa do you need? Who else is here? Who else has a lot of rasa tonight? Rasa Raj, all the rasas, look, they're all sat here in a row, 3 rasas in a row. My goodness, what rasa are you in? What is your rasa? Pardon? Don't know ras. And your rasa? Huh? Which rasa are you in? Griha ras. Which rasa are you in? Come on, tell us your rasa.
7 rasa.
Huh?
Dasa rasa.
Dasaras, he's in Dasaras. Which rasa are you? That's a good one. That's a very good rasa. Yes, the foundation of all the. There's no question of what rasa am I in, unnecessarily, unless we really understood the foundation, and that we're eternal servants of the Lord. That means servants of His devotees. That's our real business. In 1969, I think it was, Burijan Prabhu wrote one offering to Srila Prabhupada. Early days. Very simple. If you ever read the offerings in those days of the devotees to Prabhupada, they're quite simple. But very sweet. I don't know if it was in the Vyasa Puja book in those days. It is available, you can read it. It's the last line of each verse. He wrote a versified offering. The last line was, Srila Prabhupada, I just want to be a good devotee, a nice devotee like that. Prabhupada appreciated it very much, but he said, the last line is not right. You have to change. We're not even qualified to be devotees. We're not qualified. So we simply want to become servants of the devotees. That was Prabhupada's mood, to serve. What does serve mean? Serve yourself? Selfies? Taking selfies. You look like you're good friends, you two. Are you okay with each other? Why don't you take a selfie of yourselves?
Oh, they would have done that already.
Oh, they've done that.
From the stairs.
The more the merrier. They keep you busy during the class. At least you won't fall asleep. Don't pinch any of those golden deities there. Okay. So, yes, a servant as a servant. This is Lord Chaitanya's, practically speaking, main verse, isn't it? The teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Is it? One of his main statements. Gopi Bharta Pada Kamala Dasa 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 Anudasa. They were the servants, servant. This is our constitution. No matter what you could say relationship you have with Krishna, the underlying feature is we're all here to serve, to become servants of the servant. Even in the rasas themselves, that's the mood. You don't become, I want to become Vishaka, I want to become Lalita. Right? You think like that? Maybe.
I want to become a servant of Vrindadevi.
Vrindadevi, there you go. A servant of Vrindadevi's servants. Or a servant of Vrindadevi's servants.
Yeah.
Or a servant of the servant of Vrindadevi. This is the spirit of love, of actual understanding our relationship with Krishna. And we practice that now. We practice it now. We're not here to become masters. How many of you have a master's degree from university or something? Don't be shy.
One behind us.
One behind us, there we go.
The humble one.
Master's degree, and Sridharma had a master's degree in looking after Vrindadevi. Is that master's degree in looking after Tulsi Devi? That would be good, wouldn't it? Well, that would be a servant's degree. So we're not here to get master's degrees, we're here to get servant's degrees. It's amazing, eh? If you're, because many of us here are not little children anymore, at least physically. But when you're a little child, sometimes your parents ask you, what would you like to be when you get older? I don't know if you ever had that one. What would you like to be? Mummy or Daddy asks you, what would you like to be when you get older? What would you, when you get older, what would you like to be? Have you finished school? You still look like a schoolboy. You look so young. There are many schoolboys look older than you do. Can't believe it. He's got children and all sorts of things. So I don't know if you ever had that, but in England it was very common. The mum and dad would ask you, and maybe when you're 11, 12, I don't know, something like that, what would you like to be when you get older? What do you say? What do people say now? They don't need to bother asking anymore, probably. But what would people say if they were? What would you say? What would you like to be when you get older, Gauranga?
Rich.
What?
Rich.
Rich. Wants to be a rich man. It doesn't define what you're going to do to become rich, but it's an objective of what you do to become rich. But you might say, I don't know what people say. When I was a kid, it would be like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a teacher. No, they were respectable those days. They were like highly respected. Even policeman was highly respected when I was a child. He was like the hero of the neighborhood, everyone looked up and the priest. No one went to the church, but they always offered him, some kind of respect, And the teacher, everyone would literally, pay respects to the school teacher, was quite highly respected. And like that, doctors, highly respected people in society. So if you said that, their mother would be very proud of you and happy like that. What if you said, I want to be the servant of the servant's servant's servant when I get older? I don't think your mother would be quite so happy with that statement. A servant of the servant's servant's servant. What? What are you? It's like Hiranyakasipu, isn't it? What are you saying? Get that rubbish out of your head. Oh, I want to be a rubbish man. I want to clean the garbage. A garbage cleaner. And that's not a bad job in many ways. You probably have a good pay nowadays as well, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. You have to have a master's degree to be a garbage man now, isn't it? You've got to have a diploma or something, isn't it? To be a garbage man, a man who clears up the rubbish. Call it garbage men here, or rubbish men, or whatever, I don't know. Everything now you have to have some kind of diploma or degree, isn't it? No matter what you do, practically. What to do. Like, what is this? Servant of the servant, servant, servant. It sounds like a complete failure. The lowest of mankind. And that's the devotees. They're the highest, but people may not see it like that. The real devotees are always in this mood of serving the devotees. How to, not just theoretically, but to actually live in that consciousness. At least we can follow Srila Prabhupada as best we can, those who are living examples of reality, living examples of love for Krishna. Prabhupada was a personification. I mean, many times the different stories are told, but there's one time when he was with, I think it was some nuns, I think it was at Shivbari place in London, and Prabhupada was being asked, are you the spiritual master of this movement? Prabhupada said, no, I'm trying to be the servant of this movement. And then they asked about pure devotee. Prabhupada said, I'm not qualified. All these young boys and girls here, they're qualified. I'm just trying to serve them now. He always saw himself like that. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj saw his disciples as his masters. So Krishna sent them for him to serve. So this mood that no matter what position we officially hold, what level one's on, the more one's advanced in Krishna consciousness, the more we should be in this mood of service. Servant of the servant, 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 servant. Chetodharpanamajanam Bhavamahadavaye. This is Lord Chaitanya's mission. Beginning stage. Not the goal, you could say, but you can't reach the goal unless you go through the system, the process. If you're playing some game, football or whatever you call it, you don't just score the goal, you've got to know the methodology. So the first thing is to cleanse our hearts. And this is the methodology. The holy name isn't just about cleansing the heart. That's almost a byproduct. But it's a necessary, absolutely necessary effect in order for any further development in our relationship with Krishna, positive relationship. The heart has to be cleansed of so many anarthas, all based on the fact that we're seeing ourselves in the center, proud of our perception of everything around us, proud of our so-called knowledge, maybe proud of our so-called opulences, whatever they are, wealth, beauty, fame. even renunciation, very much so. Proud of our renunciation. One can be proud in relationship with Krishna, but when we're proud in relationship with ourselves, this is you could say, the basic cause of our being in this world and remaining in this world. And to change that perception. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, the only thing, there's no question of reform, in a sense, in this world. Most people think we have to reform the world around us, then everything is going to be fine. He said, but that's not the case at all. His own words were, those who think that this world is in need of reform are in themselves in need of reform. No one can reform this world. It is what it is, it's under Krishna's direction, and that's how it is. You can't reform it. When somebody seems to be an instigator of reform, they're simply an instrument in the hands of the Lord to evoke what is required, according to the desire and karma of the living entities or the plan of the Lord. No one is independent. The problem is we think we are independent, and that's where the reform is needed. But the only reform that's needed is reform in our own perception of how we see things. And that is evoked by the simple process. Sounds simple, and it is in one sense. It's evoking that, correcting our perception. It's evoked by exposing ourselves to the pure sound of the holy name of Krishna. So let us just try to forget, not so much forget, just absorb ourselves in remembering the name is Krishna. It's not just a means to attain Krishna, it is also seen like that, but ultimately is Krishna himself. And as a result of associating with Krishna, naturally our hearts become purified. If we associate with anything, even Hiranyakashipu in the Bhagavatam, we can read how he describes how to his family members, how association just acts just like a crystal. Whatever comes before it reflects. So what we associate with, that's how we develop our various perceptions over many lifetimes. As Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, just like air passing over a beautiful flower bed, if they still have any fragrance. And I've noticed at New Varshan, at least in the morning, when you go walk to the temple in certain areas, there's such a beautiful fragrance in the air. It's so scented. In France, nothing smells nice in France practically. Flowers have no smell. They have their eau de cologne. To cover up the actual smell, they squirt eau de cologne on everything. Otherwise, everything smells a bit unpleasant. But there are so many nice smelling flowers, very fragrant. And the air, you pick it up by inhaling the air. The air is associated with those flowers. And if the air has passed over the cesspit, and if the cesspit is open, it's probably not going to be so fragrant. The smell of stool. So it's according to the association. Consciousness, Krishna likens to the air. So very important, our association, how we associate with each other, with the people in general, with the world around us, with our mind, and so on. That will affect our perception, and our consciousness is attracted to favorable, that which evokes our remembrance of Krishna. So Prabhupada has created and given us this unending opportunity to associate with Krishna. Form the deities, temples, philosophy, sankirtan, prasadam, communities, and on. We can go pictures, reminding us of Krishna. But the key one, Lord Chaitanya said, of all of these various reminders or methods of remembering Krishna, the chanting of the holy name is the most important, the most effective, to bring that unity and diversity which Srila Prabhupada wants. Diversity is not a problem in of itself. It's a problem when there's no unity. The unity is there, the diversity becomes very, very good, very favorable, very attractive. Like a beautiful flower vase with diversity of flowers, colors, arrangements. Very attractive. If everything's exactly the same, it's not so attractive. It's boring. So variety is there. They say variety is the spice of life. Everybody likes a little spice here and there. But there's no shortage of the spice, but we need the sweetness as well. So the unity, the appreciation, seeing how everything is in relationship with Krishna, no matter what it is. We may have to deal with it differently, but ultimately we see everything somehow or another, Krishna's hand behind everything. Nothing happens by chance. There's some reason, spiritual reason also, why things are what they are. Why we have certain interactions with people, persons we don't feel very comfortable with. These things come in our lives and go, but they're all part of Krishna's allowing them to happen to help us to see or to take shelter of that opening in the lotus of the Lord's feet. We take shelter. We take shelter of Krishna in difficulty, in danger, in every situation. The easiest way to do that is chanting. Even, not just when we come together, even when you're alone. You may be gardening, you may be babysitting, you may be cooking, shopping, driving, whatever it is. We may not chant on your beads, but we can sing the holy name of Krishna and hopefully remembering Krishna as well. And by this method, this process of chanting more and more and more, the Lord's very pleased and will reciprocate. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. This is the surrendering process in Kali Yuga. Chanting the holy name of Krishna, particularly in the association of devotees. So let us now chant together. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. Some water. You want some water? Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Devasesha Sanyavadi Pastyatayade Satarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatade Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi, Gaudavata Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Prabhu Gopal Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanandi, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. They usually turn the sound system off when it's time for me to stop. They do it.
I didn't touch it.
Alright, let's come back on again now. A bit high, I think.
Get the bass down.
Where's Ananda?
He's coming.
Just now coming. Pardon? He's there. He's hiding around the corner. I can't remember everybody's names. You'll have to excuse me. Some of you are not even sure if I knew your name in the first place. There he is. You're in time for prasadam, don't worry. That's the real thing that matters, isn't it? Make sure you're on time for prasadam. The Sunday love feast all over ISKCON is like that, practically. Prasadam time, they all suddenly manifest. The class is 10 devotees there. The kirtan maybe up to 50 and prasadam 500. You go with them, it's like that. If you've been there for the Sunday feast or not. They're in the kirtan, they're all sat down already outside. And if it's still like that, it used to be. At least there's some attraction for Krishna. He's very merciful in this age of Kali. We're not very attracted to austerities, study of the scriptures, sacrifices of various kinds, not able to concentrate for long, not much of a taste for many aspects of devotional service. Almost everyone has a taste for prasadam. even the public, who may be averse even, their conditioned state, they may be averse to the very principle of the Hare Krishna movement, but so many millions of people appreciate the wonderful prasadam. Why restaurants and food prasad distribution is so important. And yeah, I don't know about in New Zealand, we have a few restaurants here. We have a restaurant in Auckland? At the moment?
They have one at the uni, don't they?
Yeah, they have a cafeteria at the university, the devotees from the, I don't know what they call it, they don't call it a loft anymore, whatever it's called. Dave and Rita Maji's disciples. Still called the loft? Pardon? Still called the loft, that's after all these years. Huh? I remember back in the mid-90s we used to go to the Ponsonby. They had a loft in Ponsonby. And that was the beginning of the city urban preaching program. Right? What's going on back there? Who's the troublemaker?
This one.
Eh? Who's the troublemaker?
Wellington.
Kick him out, come on. Kick him out. We have a troublemaker here.
What are you going to do with it?
With what? With him?
They want this.
He's a person, it's not an it.
No, they want the speaker over there.
Oh, they want the speaker.
Just a little bit louder because I can't hear at the back. They can't hear.
Just as well they can't hear, they're lucky.
I don't mind purification.
Ah.
That's a bit too much. Just joking.
Oh,
Wish.
it's very sensitive. You can play it, it's an instrument. It shouldn't be like that, should it? What do you think? Hare Krishna. Whatever. So restaurants in Australia, I know that they've been very successful with this prasad distribution program. I think that who is it that's doing prasad distribution in Queen Street? Some devotees are distributing prasadam regularly in Queen Street, is that right? Krishna Chandra Prabhu, where are you? There you are. And who's in your team?
In temple it's the Prabhu, that's Madan Prabhu, and then Haripriya Mataji, followed by Dedas Prabhu, and the Prabhu is supported by Prabhu.
And different devotees go out and distribute the prasadam.
And Nitaipat Prabhu who brings the prasad along.
Who?
Nitaipat Prabhu.
You do prasad distribution too. Everyone can do prasad distribution. It's not, sometimes we're a little mechanical, isn't it? Like once a week you go on Queen Street, maybe a couple of hours or whatever on Friday, some of you chant, which is very nice. But same with our japa. Hopefully those who are initiated are chanting at least 16 rounds, and those who are aspiring also. But we sometimes be a little bit mechanical. It's like, that's it, isn't it? 16 rounds finished. It's like, there's nothing to say. Prabhu himself said, thank God I've finished 16 rounds. Thank you, Krishna. I've finished 16 rounds. Now I can do any damn thing I like, Prabhu. I did it. It's a little mechanical, it's not with a necessary, it's such a favourable spirit. It's certainly far better than nothing. And it's bound to be there in the beginning to some extent. And the same thing with services. Sometimes we're a little mechanical. We don't go beyond, the whatever the cut is, If you're asked to do it, you may do it, but this, and no, it's not my service to distribute prasadam, that's someone else's service. My service is making the garlands, or my service is whatever it is. Of course, there has to be some intelligence there to organize things, but ultimately everyone can be engaged in these activities. You don't have to be officially appointed to distribute prasadam, do you? Is there any rule, any law against making, say at home, making some, I don't know what people like in New Zealand, but something which you think might be attractive to the public? Is there any rule? Maybe cookies. In France we made cookies during this December marathon just now. I don't know how many cookies they made. I think it was 2,000 or something, I don't know. And that's not much really over a period of days. But, you know, so we're giving out cookies every day to people on the street, along with the books and so on. Anyone can do it. You probably, I'm sure all of you go outside your house once in a while. You can always, even if you don't, somebody will come in your house. You can't escape, don't worry. You can't avoid these people, these annoying people. But somebody will, I mean, you know, you always find someone who will take a cookie. I mean, maybe that's not the thing to distribute here, I don't know, but it's quite popular in France. Some of you know Chaitanya Nitai and his wife, Goloka Premu, and their daughter, Chitralekha Saki, in the wheelchair. They used to live here. Some of the older members will remember them. They're living in New Govardhan now. They've left France. Beginning of last year, they left France, moved to Australia again, for medical reasons primarily, because it's easier for them there. And when they were living in the nearby city to our farm in France. And they have, government pays, they have 2 devotees constantly assisting, and they get paid by the government. And they would make, every Saturday we go on Harinam, they would make an average of 700 cookies every Saturday for distribution. And the people love it. They know if people to this very day come up to the Harinam party and they ask if we have any cookies. Usually we don't, unfortunately, because they're not there anymore. It's not easy to get someone to do it on a regular basis. These days you have to pay people these days, unfortunately. What to do. But prasad distribution, you can all do it. Wherever you go, carry some prasad with you. I mean, for yourself, but not also for the public. You know. I distributed all the prasadam you made this morning. It was very nice. Now, to give to the people also, you never know. It makes a change to people's hearts. You know, you're doing some business with somebody, you never know who it is, but to give them prasadam if you can. Makes a big difference. Don't ask anything, just please accept. Whatever it takes. I mean, usually, we find in France, it's funny, maybe in different places it's different. When you say homemade, we made it ourselves, people are more inclined to take. It's kind of interesting. It may not be the same everywhere, but I found that in France, that they kind of appreciate it if you made it yourself, or say like that. But to some or another, give prasadam to people. And of course the holy name. Holy name may be a little bit more, people may be a little bit more stand backish to accept, some people. But prasadam is usually a very good way to connect people to Krishna. So offer it nicely also, don't just, you know, say it's everything's prasadam, but we've not really offered it properly. You know. I mean, Sri Vishnu is better than nothing. It's not the best way. Offer. There was a time in the 80s and 90s, devotees were so enthusiastic and so merciful, they'd offer the whole supermarket. We offer a pack and save to you. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. whatever you buy in there is prasad. I don't know if it's that easy, you know. It doesn't sound quite right to me. I don't know, maybe it is. I don't know. Woolworths and everything. And it's good because then you don't have to offer it at home when you can save time. And that means everything there is prasadam, so Mahaprasad. So we're here to become Krishna conscious, not just to ritualize things. But as much good consciousness as we can. You have your food for life here in Auckland? We do food for life still? No, not at the moment. There are ups and downs in these areas. But food for life is just the name of the program, really. Some people get hung up with the name, but the principle is to distribute prasadam. It's not the name or the label, but the actual act of distributing prasadam to everyone, even to dogs and animals sometimes. This is Lord Chaitanya's merciful movement to somehow or another drown or absorb everyone in the ocean of devotion. I'm sure here in New Zealand people really appreciate the Hare Krishnas for prasadam. Sure they do. And in most places they do. Our restaurants are generally quite well known. Gopal's, whatever it's called. Hare Krishna restaurants around the world. To this day in Paris, we don't have a restaurant in Paris for various reasons. We used to have them. So many people ask, do you have a restaurant here in Paris? So many people. Many people say, I remember the restaurant you used to have. And go on. We do have a restaurant in France, but not in Paris. And but everyone can take part. Isn't it easy? You just, whatever it is you can do, just have some, even if it's cut fruit, something. Have something with you to give to people. You know, it's a shame when we don't have anything to give them. Especially if they're not interested in the philosophy, they may not want the book. But they may take, you know, a cookie or something. To give something, we should always give something. You don't have so many, you know, you do have people on the street, at least in Queen Street, who are, I guess they're beggars. In Paris we have lots of people on the traffic lights, you know, you pull up at a traffic light, there'll be some Syrian refugees or something like that. Somebody or another will be there. It's always good to give them some prasadam. Very good. When people ask, we should always be ready to give. This is how we do charity in this age. You don't give money. We don't give money in that case. We give them food offered to Krishna. That is beneficial for everyone. Everyone benefits. Sripati Prabhu, Haribol. One of our originals, almost originals here. How many years have you been serving Radha Giridhari? 40 years?
34.
Oh, I thought it was longer. You were here when I came in what year was it? Brigupati Prabhu was the president. What year was that when Brigupati Prabhu was the president here?
1997.
Quite a long time ago, wasn't it? 92? Madan? You were in Christchurch, yeah. I came down, I remember, to Christchurch when you were the president there. And 92, I don't know, even earlier than that. I came here in 89 or something. First time. I thought he was the president then, but maybe he wasn't. I can't remember for sure. And he was definitely the president in the early 90s, so that's... And you were here then, you were around then for sure. So 35 years maybe. Anyone else has been serving Radha Giridhari for 35 years here in this body? Sudama, how long have you been here?
I came to Auckland in 2004.
Oh yeah, you were in Christchurch, weren't you?
Christchurch, yeah.
You were looking after Tulsi Devi in the garden there, I remember.
1988.
Pardon?
2000. From 1988 till 2003.
Wow.
I was in Christchurch.
So you've been in New Zealand quite a while. Very nice service for so many years to their lordships. Still doing whatever we can to render some kind of service to their lordships. Same with books. You can take books with you. What's the difficulty? They don't weigh, a little book doesn't weigh that much. You can get them in the pocket sometimes. Or you get, I didn't bring my coat. Where's that orange? I didn't bring my orange coat tonight. I can put in that, I have this orange jacket. I can get 8 Bhagavad Gitas in the pocket. Yeah, it's a good coat for saying, the small Bhagavad Gitas, not the big ones. I can get 2 to 4 of those big ones that you have in your coat. I can put my laptop in there. Well, I didn't design it, it just happened to come like that. You know. Some doers have designed their coats like that. You know. You can get through the, you know, you have this, they weigh your bag sometimes. You put everything in your coat. You weigh double your normal weight. Different ways of getting it. But taking books also. Rasikananda, he's got into this mood of carrying books wherever he goes. It's a very nice habit, very nice. If you don't have any, it's pretty difficult to distribute. Pretty difficult, isn't it? If you don't have a book, how are you going to distribute a book? Possible, but very difficult. You can convince them to give a donation, you'll send them the book in the future, but it's pretty hard to do that. So carry books, carry prasadam wherever you go. Be prepared to have mantra cards, address cards of the whatever, center, whatever it is. Invite people. It's a mission, movement. Try to be a part of the movement. We're not just here to be here. So everything we do, be a little bit more, we try to be a little bit more, you know, voluntary, a little bit more outgoing like that. Krishna will be pleased. Even if we follow, you know, your do's and your don'ts, minimum this, minimum that, do this. You've got to do 3 service. Prabhu, you have to do 3 hours service a week, otherwise you can't be initiated. So you just do maximum, not minimum, maximum 3 hours service a week so you can get the green tick. And as soon as you're initiated, that's the end of that. Have you ever seen that sometimes?
I still see it.
Pardon?
I see it every year.
You see it regularly, yeah. It's the same everywhere, it's not isolated. Well, you're bound to get that, that's going to be there, but it's not really the mood that we should have, is it? What do we want? We want 24 hours a day service. We may not be able to do that in one sense, because we're not on that level of transcendence, but at least we can try to do more service. We're not here. I would say this movement is not just for armchair philosophy. It has to be philosophy. The root, the foundation, you could say, of our conviction. But at the same time, we're here, our ultimate constitution is to serve Krishna. So we don't find many philosophers in Goloka Vrindavan. They're not all sitting around arguing about tattva. They may have a bit of fun sometimes and imitate that, some kind of fun being a jnani or something. Our business is to ultimately realize that we exist. Why do we exist? Why do we exist? Is it not because of the Big Bang, is it? No, okay. If you're an atheist, you might say something like that. But why do we exist? Why does a living entity exist? What's the point of our being? Why? What's the purpose of our being? Is there a purpose?
Well, ultimately to give Krishna pleasure.
That's the reason we exist. We exist because Krishna's He's a reservoir of pleasure, and just like we, as parts and parcels of the Lord, we often try to expand what we have, maybe our family or our possessions or something or another. So we think we'll get pleasure. Pleasure is there, some pleasure is there. And that's because that's the nature of Godhead. He's ever expanding. It's not like, okay, I've expanded enough, that's enough, enough's enough. Enough problems already, I don't want any more. These New Zealand people or whatever, they have too much problem. Enough of these expansions. No, he's ever expanding. No end, unlimited. The ladinial, the internal pleasure potency, is ever expanding. It's inconceivable to the material perception. You'll never come to the end of trying to understand why. It just doesn't happen like that. The actual answer is Krishna is the pleasure. He's the source of all pleasure. He's the reservoir of pleasure, and that reservoir is ever expanding. You'll ask, well, into what is it expanding? You can go on and on with these unanswerable, say, doubts, questions, whatever. But the fact is that he is the enjoyer. He's the reservoir of pleasure, and we're meant to be. We're actually part of that expansion, in one sense. We have that choice at least. We're marginal, but that's our constitutional position, to bring pleasure to Krishna. We have a little choice there. The internal energy is perpetually bringing pleasure to Krishna. There's no question of anything else. And the marginal energy has a little choice, so we have that little choice. But our perfect situation is to be in that internal potency, and that's the ideal situation. You have most of you probably have had children or are having children, and you like it when your children are very cooperative, do you? Is it, you prefer it when they cooperate, or you prefer it when they don't? Which you prefer? Cooperate, okay. Usually. If they object to everything you do, it's not very inspiring for most people. Different people react to things differently, but we like our children to cooperate. We like to have a very loving relationship like that. Again, that's the same with Krishna. He expands, but he gives a choice. You can't force your child to cooperate. Up to a certain point you may, but there's a point where the child will rebel unless it's a little bit coming from them. They will rebel, and then it becomes then the challenge comes in. But we like that cooperation, because that's the nature of the spirit, is everything works harmoniously and cooperatively. Becoming cooperative, becoming one with God means to be in that spirit of unity, realizing our position, just like in our body, has many parts, fingers, nails, teeth. Some of you may have no teeth left. I was just thinking when we were chatting, I was having difficulty keeping my teeth in my mouth, because these are all false teeth up here, and they're everywhere false. Completely false, the whole thing here. Teeth particularly are false. There's one tooth which kind of holds the false tooth plate, and most of it fell out my mouth about 2 weeks ago. So there's nothing holding the false teeth practically. They're kind of loose. I'm not going to get there. I can flip them out in a second, but I'm not going to do that. I'll get in trouble. I'll be in Mahavishnu Swami's book. Whoop. Oh, what happened there? My teeth fell out. No, it wasn't. Something else fell out. There we go. But they're all going to fall out eventually, or we're going to fall out. The teeth fall with us. But you can't keep your teeth, I'm sorry. You've got nice teeth. Very nice set. Are they your teeth? Are they real teeth? Are they real ones? He's got real teeth. Prabhupada asked that one to an old man in England who came to see him. They were both 80 years old. He asked him, have you still got your teeth? And they were talking about their teeth, When you get old, these type of things become more common in the conversation. Your teeth, your your health and different things. Can you hear what I'm saying? You think the other guy is deaf, but actually you're deaf. They're replying to you, but you can't hear them, so you think they're not replying. They can't hear what you're saying. It's you who are deaf. These things become eyesight, you can't see properly, and whatever, different things. How old are you? It's like when you're young, it's like, how old is your son? Oh, he's 2 years and 3 months, isn't it? You say, you get very specific, and then you go into a period where maybe 12, 13, 14, then you say, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, And then when you get older, it goes back again. How old are you? 96 years. How many months? I'm older than you. What date? There's one devotee in our Paris temple. I'm three days older than him. You get down to the line again. It's like going back to being a baby again when you get old, practically. And you can't even eat. Sometimes you have to have someone to feed you. You've got no teeth, no hair, and can't see properly, and can't speak properly, and can't walk properly, and can't talk properly, and everything's kind of like almost going back to coming out, except for the body is old and haggard and what to do. That's the material world. Everything goes through these stages, and birth, growth, maintenance, dwindling, death, and so on. Old age, death. You can't stop it. Can anyone stop it?
No.
Why not? Why not? Why can't you keep your teeth like this forever? Why is your hair grey? You've got good teeth, but you've got grey hair. You look bald too, by the looks of it. What do you think? You've got bald hair? Yeah, you've got bald head. You can, maybe you can do something. Why don't you try? There's all these processes of making your hair grow again. You can look handsome again. No, you're not interested. Okay. But this is the nature of the way. Even if you do it for a few years, how long does it last? Not long. No one can stop death. Hare Krishna. Wow, you just flown in?
Yes, we just flown.
Wow, welcome. Hare Bo. Those are flying in from far and near. Hare Bo, Hare Krishna. Jai. I don't know if others are on their way in or a way out, but some may be on the way out. But if necessary, come forward a little bit. But is there a process of bringing death to an end? What's that mean? Money? You're going like this. What's that mean? Money, is it? Counting money. You can buy yourself. Live forever. How much will it cost, Yamaraj? How much do you want, Yamaraj? He's not much interested, I'm afraid, in billions, even if you are a billionaire. Not going to help you much at that moment. What's the process of deathlessness? Is there a process? They're working on it. The scientists have been working on it. He's a scientist. Are you still working on it? Or have you given up?
We've given up.
No, they gave it. What's the process?
Reawaken our love for Krishna.
That sounds pretty, what would we call it, subjective. So do you mean? How does that make you deathless? I see you Hare Krishna devotees are also dying. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's an amazing experience. Huh? You were partly there. In Paris just 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. One of our young devotees, only 40 years old, one of our devotees, he got leukemia. You know leukemia? It's usually something they can't cure. It's very difficult to cure, isn't it? Kind of a blood cancer or something like that. Something attacks the lymphatic system and all that. So about a year ago, he was diagnosed, and he was just sick last year. He's been going through chemotherapy, and he even had bone marrow transplant, and all sorts of things to try to reverse the whatever it is, to try to create favorable blood cells or whatever they do. You know, it didn't work. He passed away about 3 weeks ago, and about 10:30 at night, I was trying to take rest, but I couldn't sleep at that time. I got up and I put my mobile to sleep. My mobile sleeps nicely at night. So I woke the mobile up, and there was a quick message I saw from his wife. There was a general message asking, "Is anyone there, please? And I need help." So I immediately contacted her, and she was on the way to the hospital. They told her that her husband was probably leaving his body that night. So for the next 5 hours, almost 10 to 4 hours, we just chanted constantly together online. And the husband left his body after about 3 or 4 hours. It was an amazing experience to be in that situation. Somebody leaving their body, and I wasn't physically there, still it felt pretty close to being there. Chanting the holy name and seeing how his wife was so desperately taking shelter of the holy name. Prabhupada said one time we should chant a little bit like that, as if this is my last breath. You know, we may die before we can chant another mantra. We don't know. It can happen any time. In the middle of nowhere. Who was it just told me that their brother-in-law, Krishna Gopal, was it Ananda Prabhu told me? Krishna Gopal's brother-in-law, was it?
Apparently he hasn't
Huh?
died.
Huh?
He hasn't died yet.
Oh, he's not dead.
He's about to die.
Well, we're all about to die, but we don't know when it is. But he's definitely going to die, isn't he?
Yesterday I got the news that he has died.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He came back to life again. Magic. He didn't die. Anyway, it does happen like that. Our temple president some of you know him, his name is Lochananda. He was on the Gold Coast. He was cooking on the Gold Coast in various restaurants of ISKCON there for many years, helping to run the Bhakti Center there. But he came to France to help us to set up a preaching center in France. Because it's a long story, but he went there, be careful. He went to France, but because to get the visa he had to sort of stay at the new Mayapur property, and whilst he was there he fell in love with one of the young ladies there and got married, and that was the end of the preaching center. And but he became the temple president there. He's the temple president there with his wife of New Mayapur now. And his cousin, a very nice devotee in Andhra Pradesh, and he also just finished a preaching program, and on the way back from the preaching program, their car smashed into a lorry coming the other way. All the devotees were crushed to death, 5 of them. So it can happen, you don't know, we take it for granted it's not, but it can happen anytime, anywhere, any place. I'm sorry about being so, let's say, so positive and so blissful subject matter, but it's a reality of life. And the blissful part of it is that, that we can really take advantage of these things by becoming a little bit more aware, a little bit more conscious of Krishna, chanting his names. Be prepared. If ever you're in the Boy Scouts, I don't know if you know what the Boy Scouts are. Do you have Boy Scouts? Anyone of you been in the Boy Scouts? You're in the Boy Scouts? Is he? You're a cub or a scout?
He's been on a few of those.
He's been on a few. Anyway, it's a whole thing, isn't it? It's a whole training program. You were a scout? Who was a scout? Someone over here put a hand. You were a scout? Really? Oh. Watch out, we have a scout about. Good training in one way. It's sort of like pre-army training in some ways, isn't it? And one of their mottos is be prepared. Be prepared. Be ready for anything. You never know what's going to happen. Isn't it? Even the temple present, if you're going to be prepared for anything, right?
24/7.
24/7, there you go. There you go. No matter what it is, you never know what's going to happen next. It's a surprise at every moment. New Mayapur is full of surprises. Almost every day, the electricity stops working, the water stops working, the gas is leaking, the surge is overflowing, the roof is leaking. And every day, isn't it? Practically every day there's something's turned off to try to fix it. The heating doesn't work in the middle of winter. It works very nicely in the summer. And in the middle of winter, the what do you call it? The thing that blows the air around, what do you call it? Not the fan. Not exactly. It takes the heat from the wood burner and huh? No, the pipe is this thing that pushes it through. I've forgotten the name for it. Stops working, you know. No, the boiler's working. That's a different thing. It's just something that drives the heat around. I don't know what they call it. It's like a fan, but it's got another name. Big thing and a powerful engine. It's not working. All the time there's no hot water, or there's no water at all. You know, all the time things are going on. Every day flooded, the basement's flooded. Every day something happens. Almost every day. It's just one of those things that the material world is for a reason, and the reason we realize that, you know, we have to take shelter of Krishna. You're not going to stop it. So we get in our comfort zone, which you think is very comfortable here in New Zealand, you know. The nice houses, you can turn the tap on and water comes out. You press the switch and the light comes on, isn't it? You put your key in the car and turn it, and the car starts, usually. And, you know, you can go to the shop and buy what you like in Pack and Save. Right? Pack and Save here? Countdown. Is it still there? Countdown? Oh, they became Woolworths. Woolworths. You take it for granted, you know. But maybe one day it may not. Imagine if the electricity didn't work. Just imagine. Nowhere. What would you do? The water won't come out. There's no electricity. There's no generator, whatever it is, driving the water. Maybe for a little while it will drip out there, but not for long. You go to the supermarket, the door won't open. The petrol tank won't work. Your mobile won't work. The bank doesn't work. Nothing works, isn't it? Practically nothing. I can't even brush your teeth. Your electric toothbrush doesn't work anymore. Nothing works. We're so dependent on even your teeth, you know. We have a dentist here if you have any. It depends ultimately on Krishna. No one else can protect us. I mean, Bhagavatam, many places we see this reminder, isn't it? Prahlad Maharaj and others remind us that nothing in this world can really save us. Your master's degree, But I have a master's degree in God knows what, something or another. What was your master's degree again?
Professional marketing.
Professional marketing, Sudama.
Master of Business Administration.
You have a master of business administration here, right in your midst. True. But at the time of death, it's not going to help us much. Even in old age, we all know what they say, the challenges that can be there in old age. Materially speaking, old age, I suppose people continue to bury themselves in various doable forms of sense gratification. But for a devotee, what we do in our old age? What do you do? Some of you, anyone over 50? Anyone over 50? Anybody 50 plus? 50 years plus? Where? 50 years plus. Anyone else? Come on, they're all shy to admit their age. Yeah. Carla's not 50. You're not 50 yet, are you? Not yet. Not quite. Many at the back, I can see they're at least 50 years old. I can tell. Just by looking at them, I can see they're at least 50 years old. And the way they're looking back at me with their teeth. No, I'm not. Look at my teeth. I'm not 50. Take your glasses off. Put a hat on so I can't see your grey hair. You're supposed to retire at 50 and go to the forest. Panchasodvam Vanam Vrajet. Off you go. Take your wife with you. Sorry about that, I mean. Off to the forest you do go. Obviously in Kali Yuga it's not quite like that, but in previous ages, at least for the cultured members of society, that was the case. 50 years, finished. No more business, no more management, no more family. Off you go. You ready? Are you ready? No more smiling with those teeth. Serious business. That's good. Much better. Keep it like that. No more selfies. You can't take your mobile phone to the forest. Give it as a gift to the temple. Okay? That's not the case, but we should realize that, it will come. We should just hang on to the day we die, try to enjoy this world and squeeze some pleasure out of it. Happiness comes even if you don't endeavor. It may come in a different way, but it comes. And suffering comes even if you try to avoid it. You can't avoid it. Nature of this world. Constitution of material energy. We'll try it out. Deathlessness. It's interesting. There's a breakfast, I don't know if it's a breakfast cereal, but I take it at breakfast sometimes. There's a cereal called Amaranth. Have you heard of it? Well, it's actually not the name. Yeah, you could call it a cereal Amaranth. But it's also a brand name as well as a product name in some cases. Amaranth, and in different parts, they call it bhaji in some places, bhaji in India. It's an amazing food, which was very, very popular amongst the Incas. I think it was the Incas or the Aztecs, one of them. It was their magic food. And it's interesting, they call it amaranth. You don't call it amaranth in India normally, but maybe now. The very word Amara, the Lord of Death, Amaranth. Nath, Amara, Nath. Conqueror of death, the giver of life. It's one of those rejuvenating foods. It's the most, of all the non-grain foods, it's said to be the most powerful of all. And people use it, they don't even use it, it's just pig food to most people. It's very powerful, but this overcoming death, We can't do it, even if we try our level best. Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, they all die in due course of time. Hiranyakashipu, everyone dies. So we're preparing that to become deathless. Not by taking amaranth or some yogic exercises or trying to avoid it, but by understanding what it really means. As different devotees have mentioned, to realize that we're not this body. Pardon? What is that? What is that noise? Can you hear it? Sounds like drums, doesn't it? Maybe it's coming from, maybe, okay. Picking up on something. Sometimes they pick up on, there's another point which reminds you that we're talking here or something, but there's so many other vibrations in the ether which we're not aware of. But they do affect us. Imperceptibly, they affect our consciousness. They affect our health also. Some is systematically done for that reason, others just happens to be there. But it is there, and sometimes these systems pick up on some of those vibrations in the ether. This is possibly one of them. We're all in that position. So what does Krishna say to Arjuna? Are we supposed to try to adjust the material world? He certainly says that, you're bound to die. At least the body is bound to die, isn't it? No one can avoid it. That we understand. But what does he say we should do? Should we just be trying to improve that? Or try to find ways of living longer? Or ways of living more healthy? What does Krishna tell us to do? Or advise us? Choice is ours. What he suggests we do. Pardon? Pardon? Come on. What's the point of Krishna teaching Bhagavad Gita? You can jump to the end, you can say, remember him, no problem. But in the beginning, what does he say? Right in the second chapter. Huh? Certainly, he doesn't say so much directly about that in the second chapter.
He said the mantras or chants, the mantra, like it comes
Pardon?
in, it's like happiness and distress that comes.
Yeah, he said tolerate, but that's not, tolerating isn't really anything as such, is it? It's just tolerating the situation, but that's just a relationship with what's going on. It's not actually what you're meant to do in terms of actual progress. Huh? That comes in, very much so. That's more in the third chapter, briefly mentioned in the second. That in of itself is only, you could say, even materialistically speaking, people may accept that quite clearly, but it's not necessary. An objective, it's not a goal. He told us we should all lament, exactly. We should all lament, is that right? No, I think he said don't lament, I think he said don't. Yeah, that's okay, but that's just a statement. I can say don't suffer. You're there with, all your teeth are rotten. I say don't suffer, it's okay, don't suffer. It doesn't work, does it? You're suffering. But don't lament so very well, but that's not enough. What does he say? I mean, he says many things. It's like, you could mention anything, but in particularly, there's one verse which comes to mind. You might think, oh, why are you thinking of that? But anyway, it's relevant. Traigunya Rishiravad, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. You know that verse? What does it mean?
Rise above the three modes.
Rise above. So it's the first thing, rise above it. It's not fight with the modes. It's not trying to change them necessarily, but rise above them. When you go above the clouds, you have a clear sky, isn't it? More or less. Sky's clear, but we're under the clouds. So rise above the clouds. Rise above these modes, Arjuna. Be transcendental. Even the Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of nature. Rise above them. And practically the Bhagavad Gita is teaching us how to rise above the modes. And ultimately what's beyond them, of course. But first, rise above the modes of nature. So a devotee is not to not just theorize, not just to try to find some material reason to, do what they do, but to rise above these modes of nature, transcend them, be on that platform, at least act on that platform. Transcendence. Chanting Hare Krishna, following a certain lifestyle, associating with devotees, recognizing our own need for self-purification, so studying Shastras, hearing Shastras. I see your Bhagavad Gita is right next to me here, a very nice deluxe edition. And there's obviously somebody very carefully studying the Bhagavad Gita here. I can see many markers. I open up on one page, I don't have a clue which one it's going to be, but here it is. I don't know which page it is either. This one. Yeah, here it is. It says here, highest goal of all religion. Let's see what that is. I'm not really sure what that's. The great devotees relished the taste of unceasing devotional service to the Lord by hearing and chanting, and Narada gradually developed the same taste. Narada says further, Tatrandaham Krishna Katapagayatam Anugahena Shrinnavam Manoraha Takshradayamenupadang Vishrinvata Priyashravasyangamama Bhavadruchihi. By associating with the sages, Narada got the taste for hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, and he developed a great desire for devotional service. Therefore, as described in the Vedanta Sutra, Prakasha Shukam Yanyabhyasat, if one is engaged simply in the acts of devotional service, everything is revealed to him automatically and he can understand. This is called Pratyaksha, directly perceived. That's nice, it's kind of related also, isn't it? And there we go, see? Nice reminder we have. This verse in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, number 2. Who knows that verse? 9:2. Yeah, who said that? Somebody behind, I can't see who it is. Where? Oh, Hare Krishna, yes, have a treat. Say loud. Huh? Raja Vidya Rajaguyam. Pratyaksa Bhagamam Paramyam Susukam Kartam Avyayam. Pratyaksha, directly perceived. Krishna says, directly perceived. It doesn't mean with mundane senses, it means with purified senses. Krishna reveals himself. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge. And because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, not just by theorization, by speculation, but by realization. It is the perfection of religion. What is religion? We've been hearing a lot on Prabhupada's lectures, we means what we've been listening to the last few days, about what is religion. What is religion? Why Prabhupada's talking, he was talking a lot on this verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glaniya Bhavati Bharata Bhutanama Dharmasya Tathata. Famous verse. Prabhupada said this is a very important verse. What does it mean? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat. What does it mean? What does it mean in English, if possible? Whenever and wherever, yes. Whenever and wherever, that's what it means. Anything else? No, that's it, finished. Whenever and wherever. There is. Decline in religious practices. You know what he said? Prabhupada said, decline in religious practice means what? Oh, you've given up being a Christian, you gave up your Hinduism, you gave up your Muslim, you gave up your Buddhism, you gave up your Sikhism or Judaism, whatever religion, so-called religion you identify with. You gave up religious principles. Does it mean that? No. What does it mean? Bible said religion is constitutional. Religion is above the modes of nature. It's not something what we call in this world. Naimittika Dharma is not real religion. It's just meant to help us to come to Sanatana Dharma. Real religion, irreligion, it's Glania Bhakti. He said that it means that we identify with a body. Doesn't matter what you call yourself. Atheist, religionist, whatever. As long as you identify with your body, you're actually not following true religion. You may be on the path towards it, but you're not actually on it. True religion is this. That's why he's come to teach us that which is nothing to do with all these sectarian identities. Something which is eternal, your eternal nature. That is real religion. That's why Krishna has come, not to teach another religion. Oh, that's Hinduism. That's a Hindu god. It's Hinduism. Nothing to do with Hinduism at all, unless Hinduism happens to be related to it. Otherwise, it's nothing to do with any particular named religion of this world. It's the transcendental, eternal nature of every living entity. Krishna has come to teach that. And the Bhagavad Gita is the basics of that realization, process of realization. That's religion, is to realize our eternal nature, to act accordingly to our eternal nature. That's this here, this pratyaksha, this realization of that fact. This is the highest form of religion, Prabhupada says here. So study Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna. What other, tell me some of the points which you're going to do from now on. What are you going to do? Pardon? Distribute prasadam. Once a year? No. As much as you can, you're going to carry prasadam with you, aren't you? Are you or not?
Yes.
Not just for eating ourselves. Good, not a bad idea. But also to distribute to anybody who happens to possibly, you find a candidate, so to speak. So that's one good thing, isn't it? You're going to distribute more prasadam, even if it's restaurant or no restaurant. Prasadam is not depending on restaurants. Oh, we know we don't distribute prasadam. We don't have a restaurant. We don't do that. You can do it anywhere, anytime, any place. What else? Carry some magazine, book, card, invitation, something or another to connect people to Krishna. What else? Pardon? Chant and?
Just your last breath.
Chant till your last breath, or chant as if it is your last breath.
Yeah.
Both, yeah. And also try to chant more. Don't just make it totally mechanical. Mechanical is also good, but it's not enough. You want to chant with love, with quality. Mechanical chanting is not, Prabhupada says his own words, it's not as good as chanting offenselessly. So offenselessly would also incorporate more chanting. More chanting. Chant more. Don't just make it mechanical. What else can we do? Huh? Well, yes. At least we can try to, contemplate that and act accordingly as much as we can. Yes. Anything else? Rise above the modes, yeah. When you wake up in the morning, are you usually transcendental to the modes of nature? When you wake up? How do you feel normally when you wake up? Feel like going back to sleep again. They're usually a bit groggy, isn't it, when we wake up? You're not quite clear-headed. Yeah? Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said you should beat your mind 100 times with a shoe when you wake up. So make sure you have a shoe next to your bed. That's what it means, isn't it? You've got to beat your mind with a shoe. You should distribute shoes to mind-beating shoes. You should have a stall in Varshan, mind-beating shoes, okay? What's his name who sells shoes? We got shoes. Huh? What's his name? Jagannath Mishra. Jagannath Mishra Prabhu. You can get shoes from him to beat your mind with it. You know. They're pure. They're not. They're Ahimsa shoes, maybe. I don't know. Is that what it means? Beat your mind with a shoe. You know what he says it means? Maybe he said a few things, but in one place I know he said one thing at least. It means as soon as you wake up, what do? When as soon as you wake up, what are you supposed to do? You might offer your obeisances or something, or say Hare Krishna, that's nice. But a little bit more than that. Maybe, hopefully you don't grab a cup of tea or a cigarette or something. Many people do. As soon as they wake up, the first thing they do is they go for their cigarette packet, right? Or their mobile. You pick up your mobile. Immediately, wash your eyes or mouth, and you're really looking at your messages on your mobile. But what did he say you should do? Chant is good. He said, but one good thing, he says, and Bhaktivinoda has written a whole song about this, actually, what we should do. He said, this is what it means to beat the mind with shoe. Anyway, you should remember all the great devotees of the Lord. Meditate on them. Your guru, his guru, the Goswamis, great devotees of the Lord. You should think of them, remember them. That's what he said. Quite simple, yes. Very nice way to start the day, isn't it? Meditating on the devotees. Positively, of course. Don't meditate on negatively. Oh, my enemies. I will get them today. But positively, like different things. Service to the devotees. We heard that in the beginning. We should try to serve the devotees. And whatever else. So even if we can just pick up on one of those things and apply it in our lives, then we can know that we're on the right path. All right? You okay? Kala Sambhara is still waiting for his Manuka honey. If any kind soul has a spare bottle of Manuka honey, please give it to Kala Sambhara Prabhu. He's dying for honey. If you give him honey, he'll live forever. There you go. If you don't want him to live forever, don't give him honey. Honey is also elixir. It's life-giving. Food of the gods. But nothing lasts forever. Hare Krishna. Time to go home. Time to go home. Hare Krishna. Good to see you. How are you? You living in Auckland now? Yeah. What was your name again? John. 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 Where are you from?
From Russia.
From Russia. And you're together? And your good name?
Maria.
Melia. From Russia also? Very nice. Welcome. You're living now all the time in Auckland? Good. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for being here. Hare Krishna. You drove up from New Plymouth? 6 hours? 5 hours. He's living in a tent. He doesn't even have a house, so if anyone very kind, if you can help. He's living in a tent. No, literally living in a tent. He's a refugee from New Plymouth. He heard there was some free food, so he came over. Your brother? Huh? Okay, anything? You okay in the back? Didn't hear a word, but anyway. Huh? I can't hear what you're saying. You must be deaf. What's up, Rasa? You look like you okay? Huh? Is he okay? Problem with his teeth. You better have a word with him. Give him some of your teeth. You need some teeth. What's wrong with your teeth? What's wrong? Gone. Teeth are gone. There's a toothless tiger in the back there. Can you give him some teeth? You got some teeth spare? I've got a spare set of false teeth. Huh?
You should keep some in his bag. Like you keep some in his bag. You should keep some in his bag.
Yeah, you should keep some spare teeth with you as well. So you could add to your agenda, just in case someone's tooth falls out or something. Anyway, that's not our business. Someone else's. Well, I hope your teeth get better. Did you know, I heard from a very reliable source just recently, and this was actually a statement, but it's kind of a bit of a cynical statement, I think. There's a statement by a scientist. He said, when you reach 120 years of age, we have discovered that you will get a new set of teeth growing. So you have something to look forward to when you're 120. You'll have a new set of teeth, okay? Not long to go. A few more years, you'll be there. That was a statement. When you reach 120, you'll get a new set of teeth will grow. It's good, huh? Something to look forward to. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi.